All right, so this is a new 5 minute. Come on, Google. All right, so Google is pushing to my first target. Like I said, I wanted to wait for the first 15 minutes on Google. Still not in no trades yet, guys. We're being patient. Again, we have new today. So with that, there could be a situation where there's a lot of sideways movement. All right, so SPY just broke that 5 minute like I talk about. So we're doing the same thing like on SPY right here. I want to see where it break. We could kind of go into puts, but I want to wait for this. Yeah, we only have 2 minutes left in this 15-minute candle. So I would rather wait and be patient. Let's see right here on QQQ. So I would rather wait and be patient on this 15-minute. The contracts on Google is weird. They're not moving. So I don't like that. Contracts on Google are not moving. They're actually dropping, which makes no sense. And Google is right there. I'm not liking what I'm seeing on Google because I'm paying attention to the contracts and the contracts are not moving. Even though the price was going up, the contracts is not going up. But as soon as the price drops, the contracts are getting hit. All right, so we have 1 minute left, 5 seconds left. All right, so I'm going to look at some SPY calls, some SPY 637 call. I just got in SPY 637 call. So SPY. My first target on SPY is going to be the 50% line at 3650. Oh, look at that. A break below here, guys, and we're going to get out. So my stop loss will be the below the 15-minute. What just came out? 9:45. 10 o'clock pending home sales. All right, get ready to cut if it break the 15-minute line. If it break below the 15-minute, get ready to cut. We reject up there. All right, so right now, this is the range where we break above this. This is a bullish candle, but then we have that push right back down. So we're going to see if we hold above here. If we break below this line, then we're going to continue to fall. So we want to make sure that we cut. All right, get ready to cut, guys. It didn't break yet, but I have 2 minutes left. If we break here, we're going to probably fall to the downside and break day low and continue down. We have 1 minute left in this 5-minute candle. We want to see this 5-minute candle pop back up. If not, and the next new 5-minute candle come in, if the new 5-minute candle come in and break right here, right, and break this low, we're going to fall. And we're going to probably break day low. We'll probably break day low or go down to day low. We need to see some type of reversal on the 5-minute back to the upside. Google is pushing back down. All right, here's a new 5-minute candle. We want to see it pop above this 5-minute here. If it doesn't pop above and we break down here, we're going to fall. So remember, if we break below the 15, then we have to cut this because that means that we can fall and continue to fall. So all right, here we go. We just broke. So we want to continue. If not, and we break down here, we're going to have that hard fall. Might have to switch over to puts if we break right here. At this point, it's 3 minutes left in this 15-minute candle, so might as well we wait. But we look like we're going to break down. If we break this 15-minute, we're going to drop more. We have news coming out at 10 o'clock too. All right, we need to see the push all the way back up. We're testing VWAP. We're below 200 in VWAP. We need to break back above here. We're coming back up. The reason why I got in this trade, guys, again, this is a reversal candle. We break above right here. This is a hammer, which is bullish. The first target for me was the 50, followed by the 200 MA. Now, if we break, because I got in on this candle, my stop is going to be this candle. If we break below this candle, then we could come down and be bearish. But to be bearish, it's in a bigger and stronger move. We need to break below here, below the day. Now, on the day, we're using the body as support. If you notice right here, we're using that body as support on the day. So as long as we break back above, then we could push back up. If we break below here, then we could fall. So here's a push back up. thing is not working. What? All right, so we're using VWAP as a resistance right now on the 15. We need to break above this VWAP. We need to break above this VWAP and push up. Same with QQQ. If you notice, QQQ is under the 200. If QQQ break this 15-minute low right here, QQQ could fall. All right, so QQQ just break. So QQQ should come down, but QQQ is also holding on this day. Same thing right here. This is that sideways movement I was talking about earlier, guys. Because we have FOMC, we could be sideways all day. Let's take a look at new home sales. New home sales just came in. Wow. Pending home sales. Wow. That's a lot different. We might fall. If once we hold above here, guys, we're staying in the trade. The QQQ is falling. It's holding right here, though, which is good. On a smaller time frame, we're still rejecting that 200 on a smaller time frame. So we're right here rejecting the 200 and the VWAP on the 5-minute. See why patient pays off, guys? If we had jump into Google, see how Google is now dropping? And like I said, I didn't like the contracts and Google, what Google was doing. So that's why I didn't jump into Google. Sometimes patience pays off with this right here. All right, we're getting a push from QQQ. Let's see what happened on SPY as well. Only thing I don't like, because FOMC is at 2 o'clock, we might just chop for the day. And I don't like that. All right, so let's see if we're doing anything on the 5 minute. 5 minute going up again to test VWAP and the 200. We need to see a break above this five. If we get a double inside right here, two yellow bars right here, and the next 5 minute candle comes and break, we're gonna have a good push back to the upside. Right now, what they're doing, if you had take QQQ puts, your contracts would have been getting chopped up, just like how our contracts are being chopped up right now. And the reason why we get in our trade is because we have this reversal candle to the upside. We came down and basically test that body right here. So the body is a good support. Because that body's right there, we could bounce off, come back up to the 50 and possibly push all the way back up. But I don't think we're going to go all the way back up that big move until the end of FOMC. But we might see right here, see QQQ is pushing up. I think we just broke that five. Yeah, we just broke that five. We want to see this five come up and close above the 200. Once we close above the 200, the next 5 minute come down, test this 200, break this one to the upside, and then we should push back up. If we break at all below the low, then we can fall. Yeah, everything is sideways right now. They could just chop us up within this range. So we just want to be patient because they could literally chop us up in this range right here. For QQQ on SPY right now, on the 15 minute, they can chop us up in this range. SPY right now is still below the 15, it's still below VWAP. We need to come and close above VWAP. As long as we stay above this 5 minute low, we should be good. If we break below this 5 minute low, we can fall and come back down. We don't want this 5 minute to break to the downside. Push. We want that to keep pushing up. So if you notice on QQQ, we came down, they got inputs, they bring it up. If they don't have any type of stop loss, once they see themselves down a little bit or whatnot, they're going to get out the call without knowing where to get out. When I get in a call or a trade, I already know where my stop loss is. Okay, so I have to let the trade ride out. That's the difference with options versus anything else. Now, while you're doing that, your contracts can get messed up during the chop. I knew that once I get in this trade, my stop loss was going to be down here. If we break down here, then we could drop down more. But right now, we're staying within our range and we might get chopped up throughout this range. QQQ is coming back in. 3 minutes left in this 15-minute candle. QQQ is looking like it wants to push down because right now we're coming down to test down here back and it's breaking it slow. That just needs to hold. 2 minutes left in this 15-minute candle. What we want, a positive sign on SPY will be if we come up and close above here, creating similar candle to like this one. If we create a similar candle to this one, we can push all the way back up. The new candle have to come in, test the body right here, and break the high of this candle. And then we should push back up to at least day high and continue to the 50, right? The 50% retracement line. That's going to be the first target. Once we get to the 50, the second target is going to be right here at the 200, and we could go back up to the body. But again, because we have FOMC today, we might see a situation where we play sideways. If this push up and close remotely up a little bit, we can have a divergence, a bullish divergence setup. We don't have that bullish divergence setup yet. We're dropping back in 39 seconds. Happens, we want to make sure that we're breaking candles. The nice thing is we're creating higher lows. Okay. Here we're creating higher lows. So it's still that bullish sense because we're creating higher lows. We need to create now a higher high. Right now we have a lower high. We need to create a higher high on the 15-minute. That means that this 15-minute needs to come in, create a higher low, break this, and create a higher high. Once it create a higher high, we will push back up. So right now we're doing that, right? I want now for this big push to come in, break here, and create a higher high. If we create a higher high right here, we should push back up to minimum day high. So we're going to see this right now. We just want to see that break. All right, there's a break. We should push back up to day high and continue. We have a bullish divergence right here to the upside. Okay, so we just want to see this push now. Same with QQQ. If QQQ come up and break this 15-minute right here, then QQQ is going to be bullish as well. But QQQ have to break that 15-minute. If we come back down and break this 15-minute, then we're going to be in trouble as far as to the downside. I'm seeing positive signs though. We have a cross right here on my indicator showing that we're bullish on the 15-minute. We just crossed on the 15-minute. So it's the patient part. So we just need to close above the 200. The 5-minute is still struggling to close above this 200. We want to close above the 200 and then use the 200 as a support for the next 5-minute and continue up. There's that nice push. You could see the volume. You could see the wick right there. We're getting volume right now to push. We're going to come back up. The first target should be day high. Yes, we have this resistance line right here, but we broke the body right here. I'm expecting us to go back up to day high. Here we go. We're going back up to day high. This is a push. All right, this is a new 5-minute. We don't want to come all the way down here on this 5-minute. We're closing above the resistance line. I want this now to use this resistance line as support and just continue up. We have a lot of sell in this area, but we need to break above right here and just push. So you see how we're using the resistance line as support. So we're using that as support right now. We just need that push to continue up. So we just broke day high. Just like I said, the first area is going to be right here at our 50. All right, here we go, guys. We're getting closer to that. So we can almost hit it, the first target. All right, we just broke through. Up on this 11% right now. The next target is going to be the 200. This is the end of this 5-minute right here. All right, so there's a pullback, guys. Listen, I hope you guys took some type of profit or trim. There's no top on this 5-minute candle. So I'm looking for it to pop. Hold on. I'm looking for the pop back up on this 5-minute candle right here. We are using the 50. So the 50 can become a resistance, okay? The 50 can become a resistance. So just like that, that target was hit. And we actually blew past that target. The next target will be right here. But because it's a 50% retracement line, this is the resistance line. This is a strong resistance line. It's going to be for the day. So with the day can actually come back all the way back down at this point. We went up here, so we could come all the way back down. So let's see what this does. If we continue above here, then we're going to be pushing more. Again, we don't have no top on this 5 minute. So we're right at this resistance on the 50 line right here. So if you didn't trim, at least take something because everybody should be in profit. We should push more, but always take profit. QQQ just put the wick on top. QQQ didn't have a wick. There's that drop back down. Again, we're using a 50 as a resistance. So that's why the 50 was the first target, because the 50 is going to respect that 50. All right, right here. Let's see how it reacts to the 50% line again. All right, we're breaking through the 50%. It's testing it actually. A break above this 15, the next target is going to be right up here. We have a gap that it gapped up right here. All right, guys, make sure you trim in. Make sure you're taking some type of profit. We gapped up. So there's a gap right here that we can come back down and fill. Here we go. Here's a push. Here's a push. Our next target, if we break right here, is going to be up here. Right now, we're up 15%. Again, make sure you're trimming along the way. Second target right here is going to be our second target. You guys should be up way over 20%. The rejection can happen from here, and we can come back all the way down because there's a gap that it gapped up under. So we have a gap right here that needs to be filled. Everyone should be profitable right now. Again, just know that we can't come back down. If you look at QQQ, we have this gap up here on QQQ. So if we run for today and then FOMC comes in, just know that we can't come back down to close these gap if we continue to run up for the day. Again, everyone should have took some type of profit up here. If anything, you should have runners if you want to hold runners, but you should have taken profit up here. There's two target profits, one right here at the 50, one right up here at the 200. All right, let's look at a smaller time frame to see what it's doing. If you notice here, we closed 3 times above the 50. So 1, 2, 3. We closed 3 times above the 50. And now we're using that same part as support. Okay. So we can push. However, remember, we have a little small gap down here that we gapped up. We have 1 minute, 40 seconds left in this candle and 6 minutes left in this candle. We might come up here and test this 200. But remember, we're going to have some type of reaction off that too. He kind of did by coming up here. And you see that rejection right here. Sometimes it doesn't have to touch it exactly. So that's why I'm telling people, make sure you're taking profit when we get up here, because sometimes it doesn't have to touch it exactly. We want to see some kind of continuation up. If we see a breakdown below this 5 minute, then we can come back down. We definitely will close that little small gap that I talk about on this 5 minute if we break below that 5 minute low. All right, this is a new 5 minute right here. We gapped up again on QQQ, which is showing bullish sign that we gapped up. But the thing is, all these gaps that it's creating, I have to close. So even if we push up, we might see a situation where we drop down later on today. Now, if we met this 5 minute right here, we're gonna come down to close this gap. A break above here, and we're gonna retest right here and go up to that 200 touch. Oh, my bad, I didn't see that. Yes. I don't be paying attention to the chat, guys. My bad. All right, so I break below here, and we're going to come back down to close this gap down here and drop. See, on days like this, they killed the puts. QQQ just broke to push more. On days like this, they kill the puts right down here because everybody think we're going low. So they killed the puts. They came in and they try to scare people out of calls, but it never broke the level for you to get out of. If you're watching dollar amount, then you would have been scared and get out your calls because you probably was down. Like I was down a good bit on my contract. The one thing I did not do, which I should have, is average in right here. Once we broke right here, we should have bought more contracts. By the time we got getting up here, we would have been way more profitable instead of holding on to those contracts and let them become profitable. But for some people, they don't have money to dollar cost average. It just depends on who's trading, but you have that opportunity to dollar cost average in, get more contracts. So when you come up here, you would have been more profitable. For some people, they wouldn't know to do that. That's a perfect opportunity or perfect learning lesson as far as where, if you're down on your contracts, you could dollar cost average in. That way, when it goes up, you're going to be more profitable. And it's confirmed it's going in your direction. Now we have 21 seconds on this. Again, if we break right here, right there, we're going to come right back down. Because now this would be a reversal on the 15 minute. If we break this low to close that gap, that can be a nasty fall back down. And remember, we came up and test this 200. So because we test this 200, we reject off that 200, and now we could continue to go back down. A push above here, though, if we push up and break right here, then we could see a big push to the upside. The only thing I have left is runners in my contracts, guys. So I already scaled out of most of my trade. The only thing I have left is runners. And I'm not going to be calling any more trades because the simple fact that today is FOMC. We don't want to get chopped up. Like earlier we was getting chopped up, but we don't want to force any trades either. A break above here and we could push back up to the high again. I got 14 more minutes and I'm going to hop off. If you guys want to keep your trades, you can. I just have a stop at 11 o'clock. Okay. WM. WM. All of these are looking the same. We are lining up to be. Look at that. Mu pop back up from yesterday. We drop, pop up. We can drop, guys. If we break below here, we could drop. All right, we're going to probably start dropping. Make sure you secure whatever profits you have. There you go. So you see how we drop right back down, close that gap. The gap closes right on that line. This is the reason why you have to pay attention to certain things, especially with gaps. Just like QQQ needs to come back down and close this gap right here. It could be a situation where you see how it comes down, it could pop down, hit on this line, and then pop back up. But if we pop down and break right here, look at that fall. See that? It came and closed the gap. So now the gap is closed. Now anything can happen from here, meaning that we could continue down because now we have a 2-2 reversal to the downside on this 15-minute. So we're talking about we could come all the way back down to 35.71 as well. Or what we could do, because there's no gap right now, we could pop back up and continue to move upwards. QQQ is pushing. Look how it's pushing back up because the gap is now closed. Close the gap, and now it could continue up. We're going to probably push. Seeing all of this right here. QQQ is pushing for sure. But QQQ got to come back down here. QQQ got to come back down here. So we're going to see what happens at FOMC. Once those rate decisions are made, there's a pop on SPY. Did you guys have any questions for me as far as how to trade or why I took the trade? Today was a good trade. We got chopped up a little bit. And because we got chopped up a little bit, the contracts itself wasn't as profitable. If we had pushed all the way up here in the beginning, our contracts probably would have been more like the 100% or over 50% range. But because we got chopped up and we were down on our contracts, by the time we got back up to here, we got killed. We got killed on the contracts in a sense. Not killed, but the contracts wasn't as profitable. Wait, is this now touching the 50 mark? Oh, QQQ is now touching the 50 mark. Okay, so that's why it was pushing like that. But these are things that you guys have to pay attention to as well. So say for instance, the reason why I was calm in the trade, number one, we didn't break the first 15-minute, but also when you look at the daily time frame on SPY, the reason why I kept calm is the simple fact that with the body acts as a support level. So because I saw that the body was acting as a support level, I was like, the only way for me to get out of the trade is unless we see that break down. Once we see that break down, then we could be like, all right, this is going to come down. Now with QQQ, we're hitting this 50% retracement line just like we did, but we broke above and then we're rejected. If you notice, SPY is still closing. Our SPY is still below that 50% line. A lot of times it will respect that 50% line and then drop back down. Now, QQQ have gaps to be filled to the downside. If we break that and continue up and break above the 618 level, so let me show you what that is. So the 618 level will be, this is using a Fibonacci. So your 50% is right here, like we said. The 618 will be right here. So we can go up to the 618 and reject off the 618 as well. If we go up there, that's a good spot. But if we continue and break above there, then your next resistance is going to be right at the top, which is the body, right? The body is going to act as a support. This is going to act as a support. This is going to act as a resistance. So the bottom act as support. Here is going to act as resistance. So once we get up here, we might have some type of rejection off, but we have to wait and see. The news came in today, both good and bad. If you notice, the home sales is worse than what they anticipated as far as the home sales. When you're talking about ADP, non-farm employment change, you have a huge number right there. That's a major difference compared to what they forecast, right? So those are the things that you have to look at and be like, let's see what happens here. Hey guys, make sure you're posting your profits mine in Profit Flex. Appreciate you guys. If you guys don't have any more questions, I am going to hop off. It's about to be 11 o'clock, so I'm going to hop off. Great trade today as far as we were profitable in the trade, so that's a good job. And thank you for trusting in me like always. All right, guys. So we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.